What's up, y'all? It's Heat, and today I'm introducing something new to the channel, and that is a podcast. For the past month or so, I've been wanting to do something where I'm just discussing topics in the producer community and sharing my thoughts and opinions. Sometimes I can't share everything through a tutorial showing you my screen. Sometimes we have to just talk. And in order to do that, I decided to do a podcast. I'm going to call this the Mind of Heat podcast. So with that being said, let's get into today's topic. So for today's topic, I wanted to talk about the truth about mixing beats. This topic came from a Facebook post that I saw. And on that post, it had the question, would you pay an engineer to mix your beats? When I saw that, I wanted to make a discussion video and give you guys some information that I know and some advice, so you guys can answer the question yourself, and then I'll give you my personal answer to the question. So before we get started on the topic, I just wanted to give a disclaimer and say that no matter what I say, please learn how to mix beats to the highest quality possible on your own. Quality is always better than quantity. Let me say that again. Quality is always better than quantity. So no matter who mixes your beats, who mixes them, whether you do it or an engineer does it, if you know how to do it yourself, that's really, really beneficial, because you may even pay someone else to mix your beats and feel like you know more than them, and that will tell yourself to never go back to them again. It's beneficial in other ways too, but just in general, please learn how to mix beats to the highest quality possible. So no matter what I say, just learn how. With the disclaimer out the way, let's get into some general information and advice about mixing beats as a whole, so that hopefully when I'm done, you guys will be able to answer the question of, would you pay an engineer to mix your beats on your own? So when it comes to mixing beats, you can either pay an engineer or learn how to mix beats on your own. The benefit to paying an engineer is the fact that they've already gone through the learning process and have perfected many techniques and ways to mix beats and other forms of music. So paying them just gets the job done faster, and while they're mixing the beats, you can make beat after beat. When it comes to mixing on your own, you have to make a beat, then mix it, make a beat, then mix it, and the cycle continues. So if you pay an engineer, you can make beat after beat while they're mixing. You don't have to worry about that part. Now, the downside of paying an engineer is that you may not be able to afford to get every single beat mixed by someone else. So say you're selling beats online. If you're putting some beats up that you mix yourself and an engineer mixed, usually the engineer is going to be better than you because they have, more experience and skill because they're mixing all day long. So they're perfecting techniques and whatnot. And when people listen to your catalog of different mixes, they might overlook your mixes and think that the beats aren't that good because the beats that the engineer mixed sound better. So it can be an issue if you don't have enough money to pay for an engineer. And if you only want an engineer to mix your beats, you might think, I'll just save up to pay for the engineer. But at that point, you're taking too long to release music, and then you're just into more trouble because it might sound old by the time you're able to afford to get these beats mixed. So it's good to pay an engineer, but there is some downsides to it. Now, when it comes to mixing beats on your own, when you learn how to mix, the downside is that there's a learning process. The first, few beats that you're mixing aren't going to sound good unless you're lucky. And during that time, you might not like anything that you're mixing and not put anything online. But when you do learn, you'll be able to get the sound that you want since you know what you want and you can just do it yourself. Plus, instead of paying an engineer, you can do it yourself for free. So you can either pay an engineer or learn to mix beats on your own. There's benefits to both, and there's also downsides to both. So I was just giving you guys some general information. Hopefully you guys can formulate your own opinion and figure out how to answer this question on your own. Now, I'm going to get into my answer for the question and then give you further information based on my opinion so that, maybe I'll help you guys answer the question even more. So would I pay an engineer to mix my beats? The answer is no. And the main reason for the answer is for the fact that an engineer may still touch your beat at the end of the song process. So even though you mix your beat, the artist might record to it and then have their engineer mix the beat even further. So that is the main reason why I would not pay an engineer. When it comes to being a producer, you can go two routes. Chase the industry and try to get placements with major artists, or you can sell beats online. But no matter what route you choose, your beats still need to be mixed. And when it comes to mixing, in my opinion, you only need to mix your beats so that it's presentable. What that means is your beats don't have to be the best, but they have to be presentable. No matter who you send your beat to, whether someone buys your beat online or a major artist gets your beat, there might be another engineer working on your beat when the song is complete. So that's why I wouldn't pay an engineer. If you send a beat to a major artist, they might take your 2-track, or they might ask for the trackouts to your beat so that they can mix it even further. And same goes for selling beats online. Someone can buy a lease, and if they feel like the beat's not mixed good enough, they can buy trackouts. So basically, I mix my beats so that they're presentable. And it's almost like, quote unquote, good enough, but they're still presentable. And I don't like to think it as I'm mixing good enough because that sounds lazy. I'm still mixing, in my opinion, good, but I'm not doing anything over the top. So you don't have to mix over the top. For example, you don't have to mix like Dave Pensado or Alex Tumai. They're really good at mixing, but they're engineers. You need to mix so that your beats are presentable. And then when someone's recording their song, they can actually have Dave Pensado or Alex Tumai mix your beat even further if possible. So you don't have to mix like a top engineer and do over-the-top mixes. You just have to make your beats presentable. So again, I would not pay an engineer to mix my beats. So basically, that was just my thoughts and opinion and answer to the question. I wanted to separate some of the facts that I know from my opinions and the way I do things so that you can form your own opinion, and then you can take my opinions and my answer and use it to help you further if need be. So now that I gave you some facts and gave you my answer and opinion to the question, I wanted to go back to my disclaimer and say that don't forget to learn how to mix beats on your own. No matter who mixes your beats or what happens, please learn how to still mix your beats to the highest quality possible. Because again, quality is better than quantity, always. So this was the first episode of the Mind of Heat podcast. If you like today's episode, please hit the like button and also hit the subscribe button to stay tuned for more videos. Also hit the bell next to the subscribe button to be notified of when I do upload more videos. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at HEATWAVS. That's HEATWAVS. Same as my YouTube channel name. Thanks for tuning in, and I'm out. Peace.